I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. Never revisited Snow White again. Never revisited Snow White again. Never revisited Snow White again.
Snow White has sunk even before it got released. The only thing Disney can do right now is damage control to make it sink slower, but that's not easy because new interesting tidbits of information resurface almost on a daily basis. We already know of Rachel Zegler's problematic comments like,
if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
so not only she is an entitled brat, because right now in modern Hollywood most actors are literally on the verge of starvation and have to take other jobs to make ends meet, while she was so fucking lucky to strike a lucrative deal with Disney, but apparently she also is too dumb to understand what it means to be an actress. Oh, you poor girl, you have to stay in a princess dress for so long, Jesus.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Needless to say, Rachel Zegler right now is not the most popular person in Hollywood, and in my humble opinion, the best way to deal this for Disney would be to simply tell her to shut the fuck up until the movie is released. I'm not holding my breath though, considering how narcissistic and self-entitled she sounds during all these statements. Don't get me wrong, this movie will flop and most likely will flop very hard. If it goes into cinemas, I don't think it will earn half of the money they invested into it. And if they decide to put it on Disney Plus, it will most likely share the fate of Peter Pan and Wendy, which means after a couple of weeks no one will ever remember there was a movie like this.
Well, that was fun.
Anyway, the news get better and better. Right now the story details surfaced Snow White will be, and I quote here, an independent, liberal socialist.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
The story would probably shift from the romance between Snow White and the prince, and there will be bandits instead of dwarves, because apparently bandits are less offensive. According to this insider, it has been revealed that ex-actress Renata Vaca, I'm sorry if I'm butchering this name, was one of the actresses in the running for the Snow White role. And also she was one of the two finalists, along with Rachel Zegler, to get it. According to Renata on Hablemos de Cinecon, sorry for my Spanish, podcast, she sang some song and she said some text and she was invited for the final casting call, and there were only two actresses there, Renata and Rachel. Obviously Rachel was cast, and to quote the other actress, Rachel Zegler is so talented, to me is like no way. Mark Webb directed me, even if it's just for a casting call. I was Snow White there and they saw me as Snow White at some point. Maybe one day Disney will call me again to be a princess. End quote. That brings me to a very interesting conclusion, because yes, the casting call was said to have been open ethnicity, but the part was narrowed down to Zegler, who is Colombian, and Vaca, who is Mexican. And that would actually indicate one thing, that Disney always had a Latina actress in mind to play Snow White. Snow White. And look, okay, I really tried to understand it when I saw black elves in Rings of Power. I really desperately tried to understand it when I saw Tinkerbell in Peter Pan and Wendy. And hell, even in The Little Mermaid, I said nothing about changing the skin color of the actress. Because yes, those were not reasons why I disliked those productions. However, in this case, I have to draw a line. Let me read you a direct quote from the Grimm fairy tale. The kind queen got her wish when she gave birth to a baby girl who had skin white as snow, lips red as blood, and hair black as ebony. They named the baby princess Snow White. And even when considering that Disney doesn't respect the source material, which we all already know that they don't, it is in the motherfucking title of the fairy tale. Casting Latina actresses, no matter how beautiful or talented they are, is a recipe for a fucking disaster. And right now we have a concrete proof that, at least in the latest stages of casting, they wanted to do exactly that, probably to stir up controversy.
Not a great plan.
Controversy which will cost them a lot of money and audiences' trust, I mean, if they still have any left. And you know what? After Snow White, Renata Vaca has landed a part in the next installment of Saw franchise. Saw X will be released by the end of September, and let me tell you one thing. Even though these movies tend to be pretty gory and gruesome, no matter how much her character will get decimated, mutilated, destroyed, it will still be less hurtful than the butchering of the Snow White classic fairy tale. That's it from me. That was new content from Malcontent. See you next time. Cheers. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, drop a like and press the notification bell so you won't miss anything I upload. And if you didn't enjoy this, hell, subscribe anyway. At least you will know when there is a new video to actively hate.